A girl notices a stain on her leg. A sudden wave of nervousness washes over her. She tries to hide it, then to scrub it away, but it is no use. The only other person nearby is an adult whom she doesn't know well. She is so embarrassed that she asks him to leave. She tells her grandmother, who says this will happen to her every month until she is 50. Marie feels a deep sadness. It is not just about her body changing, it is the feeling that childhood is ending and no one is there to guide her. She is supposed to be enjoying a peaceful holiday in the countryside, but ever since they arrived, her parents have grown strangely distant. Now she is left alone with changes she does not understand. She checks herself in secret, terrified that something is happening to her that she never had to think about back in Paris. This is the story of a girl who became a woman the summer her mother became a girl again. It is July 14th, 1939, France's Independence Day, but young Marie will not be watching the parade. Instead, her parents are taking her on vacation to the countryside, so she has to say goodbye to her friend. Although her friend's family will watch the parade, they will leave early because her father fears a war is coming and wants them somewhere safe. Marie heads inside to pack while, in the next room, her parents, John and Ava, spend some time together. This distraction causes the happy man to walk right past Marie's room without assisting her with her bags as he usually does, which immediately worries her. She fears he is angry, so she rushes to her mother for answers. Ava assures her that everything is fine, and true to her word, Jean soon returns to help Marie finish packing. As their car bounces down the rough road, we learn that Marie has just turned 12. She loves these summer trips to the countryside because her grandmother is always eager to see them. Her father grew up here and makes it a ritual to return to spend time with family and friends. Marie has her own friends waiting for her too, both old and young, but she is most excited to see Andre, the carpenter who always gives her a special gift. Finally, the bus arrives and Andre, who is acting as the driver, helps Marie with her luggage. He reveals that his surprise gift this year is a pair of wooden clogs, which thrills Marie. She runs to hug her grandmother while the rest of the family marvels at how much she has grown. Eager for her gift, Marie runs back to Andre, but their conversation is cut short by a stranger. Andre explains that this man is the new doctor from Paris, who has arrived to replace the old one. The doctor is there to collect a medicine he ordered from town through Andre for a very sick old man named Romain. Watching from a distance, Marie's family comments that although Romain deserves his suffering, they are glad they have a new doctor who seems to care. Yet Ava seems a little more pleased than anyone else. After a heavy dinner, Marie and Ava go to sleep, leaving the grandmother to catch up with Jean. He apologizes for not sending money lately, but she insists she is comfortable. Instead, she is worried that his 2 jobs leave him no time for his family, especially his wife. Jean dismisses the concern, thinking Ava is coping well. However, when they move to the stairs, they find Marie still awake, so her father playfully guides her to her room to finally get some rest. The next day, Marie plans to spend the morning with her friend Susan. She quickly tidies her room so she can hurry out, but her grandmother stops her and orders her to eat breakfast first. Susan has to wait by the entrance while Marie finishes her food. Soon, a woman named Louisa arrives with her son Francois to deliver cheese. Louisa often helps the grandmother by massaging her back, so the grandmother sends Marie to get the special ointment. While searching her grandmother's room, Marie finds a confusing picture. She asks her grandmother what it means, but the grandmother immediately dismisses the question and sends her out to play with Susan. They are joined by 2 stubborn brothers. The group heads to Andre's shop to finally pick up Marie's clogs, but the shoes are too big for her. Andre needs to adjust them, so Marie and her friends decide to play in his nearby barn instead of waiting. They have fun playing in the hay until the stubborn brothers become too rough. This rough play causes Marie and Susan to kick them out, calling them immature kids. Since they haven't seen each other in a year, Susan confesses that she now has a boyfriend. When Susan asks if Marie has one too, Marie is unsure and replies that she hasn't chosen anyone yet. They are interrupted by Andre, who appears with the finished clogs. Marie is happy with the gift, and Andre takes the opportunity to ask for a kiss. She gives him one without hesitation. But when Andre tries to pull her into a hug, Marie pushes him away and leaves with her friend. The 2 girls arrive at a store and see the new doctor walk in. Susan comments that he is very handsome. Then a neighbor named Teresa appears. Marie runs to greet her and promises to visit her baby later when her grandmother sends her to pick up the milk. At home, Eva is dressed in fine clothes and ready to go downstairs, but her husband intercepts her and guides her back up the stairs instead. Just then, Marie arrives, eager to show off her new wooden clogs. However, her mother, pretending to be busy, simply ignores her. A disappointed Marie realizes the clogs are uncomfortable and are starting to hurt her leg. Consequently, she decides to visit Fred, Teresa's boyfriend, to pick up the bicycle she had left with him last year. Marie returns home for lunch, hoping to be sent on an errand to get milk from Luisa's farm because she wants to see Teresa's baby. Soon after lunch, her grandmother sends her on that very errand. On the way, she takes a shortcut through a dense forest, which is known as a hiding place for couples in love. She arrives at Luisa's house and sees Teresa with the baby. For a reason she doesn't understand, Marie cannot bring herself to approach the child. She picks up the milk and heads home. However, on the way, the new doctor, Alexandre, accidentally drives his car into her. He rushes out to help. Marie is fine, but her bicycle is slightly damaged and all the milk has spilled. The doctor offers to walk with her back to Luisa's to replace the milk. After getting it, as they walk back to his car, he introduces himself, mentioning that he will be in town for 2 months. Marie replies that she is only there until her vacation ends, but she suggests they might meet again. Since her bicycle is now broken, she accepts his offer to drop her off near her home. When they arrive, Marie secretly takes a small ornament from Alexandre's car while he is removing her bicycle. He tells her not to hesitate to see him if she feels sore from the accident. Marie then rushes to her grandmother and tells her what happened, excitedly mentioning how handsome the doctor is. Just then, an old man starts shouting from the street, calling out the name Catherine. The grandmother quickly asks Marie to be silent and turns off the light. Even though she is hidden, the man continues to shout, believing she can hear him. Finally, the grandmother shows herself at the window. The man calls her a cruel woman and shouts that they will see each other at the Boulevard des Invalides. After he leaves, the grandmother explains to Marie that the Boulevard des Invalides is the cemetery. She tells Marie the man is named Mauricio. He had been in love with her, but she was already married to Marie's grandfather, so they could never be together. However, she then reveals a secret. She and Mauricio actually had a son together. This means Marie's father is Mauricio's son, and Mauricio knows the truth. In the following days, Marie stops spending time with her friends. Instead, she focuses all her attention on Dr. Alexandre, whom she now considers a wonderful man. One day after the doctor leaves, Marie heads home only to have her mother and grandmother scold her because she hasn't been around to do her chores. Marie pretends to be indifferent and immediately sits down to do her homework. She spends the rest of the day looking out from the balcony, where she hears her grandmother and others comment on how inseparable her parents are, even after 11 years of marriage. The next day, Marie's leg is still sore from the uncomfortable clog, so she goes to find the doctor. He examines her leg and tells her the clog needs more adjustments. He asks if her mother sent her, but Marie proudly replies that she came on her own. Later at home, her father confronts her. He says she has been spotted spending too much time in town and hasn't been doing her homework. Knowing Marie would rather be outside, he closes the balcony door and window to remove any distraction and forces her to stay indoors and study. A few days later, after finishing her homework, Marie visits the doctor again. This time she asks if he knows Augusta, a famous woman in town who prepares love potions. However, the doctor doesn't know her and doesn't believe in love potions. Marie then explains how people claim they actually work. That evening, Marie sits at her favorite spot, watching Fred and Teresa from afar as they embrace, shamelessly showing their love. A neighbor tells her not to watch them, warning her that love is not as glamorous as they make it seem. It is actually a battle that never ends. Later, Marie meets Alexandre again and shows him what she is learning in English, proud of her skills. The doctor watches her closely and then moves nearer to help her translate a difficult poem. Marie quickly notices that he is no better at it than she is. She continues reciting the poem alone without difficulty, then leaves calmly, realizing she doesn't need his help after all. That night, the doctor passes by Marie's house and sees Eva. Their eyes meet, and a clear tension immediately passes between them. The next morning, Marie's father tries to approach his wife, but this time she rejects him. Surprised by her strange behavior, he doesn't insist and silently withdraws. He then calls Marie to hear her recite the poem. She does it perfectly, but halfway through, her father abruptly interrupts her and orders her to leave, transferring the anger he feels toward his wife onto his daughter. He then tries to address the issue with Eva again. Days later, Marie is happy because her father, who had been so unfriendly, is now leaving to harvest with his cousins. This means she can finally spend more time outside the house. However, she sees her mother crying. Not understanding the real situation, Marie approaches to comfort her. She blames herself for her father's bad mood because she hadn't been doing her homework, unaware that her mother is actually the source of the tension. Marie's grandmother is furious because her son left without telling her and believes she must have offended him. Eva quickly assures her that it has nothing to do with her. Afterwards, Marie goes for a walk in the countryside with Alexandre. She gives him a flower and confesses she is happy to spend time with him. She asks about his family and Alexandre tells her his father is dead and he only has his mother in Paris. When Marie asks his age, he replies that he is 30, and Marie comments that he is still very young. This is where Marie suddenly stops, looks at her legs and realizes her period has started. Embarrassed, she asks him to leave her alone. He quickly understands, sets her bicycle down for her, and leaves without asking any questions. Once he is gone, Marie tries to clean the stain on her leg with grass. That night, she tells her grandmother what happened and asks if this means she can have children now. Her grandmother says yes, but explains that the ability doesn't last forever. Upon learning that giving birth sometimes involves pain, Marie becomes sad. Her grandmother, sensing her distress, allows her to spend the night in her room. As the days pass, Marie begins to notice the changes and becomes worried. She is no longer a young girl, but doesn't know how to be anything else either. Meanwhile, Eva secretly meets Alexandra at the couple's hiding spot in the forest. They quickly run to a more secluded area so no one can see them. Hours later, we see Marie returning home with her grandmother. She angrily throws away the flowers she had picked, probably because the doctor never showed up. Then she spots her mother also returning home. Eva looks happier than Marie has seen her in a long time. She is holding a few flowers and wearing a new dress Marie has never seen. When Marie asks about it, Eva lies, saying she has owned the dress for years and had simply decided to wear it for a walk. That night, Eva goes outside to smoke, watching the street and hoping to see the doctor pass by. The next day, Marie goes for a walk with Alexandre, but she is quiet and upset. Her mood darkens even more when he asks about her mother. Noticing her attitude, the doctor asks her what is wrong, but Marie refuses to answer. Just then, they see the witch, Augusta, approaching. The two hide until the woman passes by, picking flowers from the field. That night, while sleeping, Marie murmurs the words, "I love you," as if secretly confessing her feelings to the doctor. The next day, she goes to his house. She waits outside, but when he doesn't appear, she lets herself in. She finds him in his room, slowly approaches him, and lays her head on his chest. "I love you," she tells him repeatedly. She expects a kiss, but Alexandra does not respond the way she hoped. He understands she is confused by powerful new emotions. He sits her down and gently explains that she is too young to understand what she is saying. Hurt, Marie replies that it isn't true, that she is a woman and that he is simply afraid of her. Then she leaves. The next day, while picking apples, Marie's grandmother asks why she has been going out alone without her friends. She gently asks Marie to trust her enough to share what is happening, but Marie refuses to talk. On a different day, Eva decides to go for a walk, and Marie insists on coming along. Soon after, they run into Alexandra. He greets Eva warmly. The doctor is surprised to see Marie with her and compliments Marie for introducing him to so many people in town. This immediately surprises Eva, who didn't know her daughter even knew the doctor. They all get into his car. As Eva and Alexandra talk, Marie, sitting in the back, deliberately makes noise by hitting the metal frame to interrupt them. When they arrive at their destination, Marie quickly gets out and stands right in front of the car, while her mother stays inside, continuing to talk with Alexandra. That evening at home, her grandmother sees that Marie seems downcast. She helps tuck her into bed and notices a concealed ointment on Marie's nightstand. Without saying a word, she helps Marie hide it, choosing not to confront the girl. The next morning, Marie watches her mother ironing clothes. After studying her for a while, she asks Eva how she plans to spend her day. Eva says she's going to iron, but Marie doesn't believe her and goes to the field with her grandmother anyway. In the field, Marie is too anxious to focus. She returns home and discovers her mother is gone and hasn't even finished the ironing. Eva had, in fact, gone to meet Alexandra. They walk through a field, talking and getting closer. At one point, he kisses her, then he takes her hand and leads her to a remote place so no one will see them. That evening, Eva visits the doctor at his house. She is impressed by the elegance of his home. Without a word, she takes one of his books and sits on his bed, reading it in silent admiration. Alexandra gently takes the book from her. In response, Eva turns on some music. Suddenly, the sound of approaching footsteps breaks the atmosphere. Eva hurriedly hides while Alexandra turns off the lights and stays silent. When the coast is clear, he returns to Eva, and they spend some time together. They meet again the next morning in the forest, but Alexandra is deeply worried. He tells Eva he received a letter from his mother in Paris. She wrote that many Jews like him are facing persecution in German camps and begs him to be careful. Eva tries to comfort him by caressing his face and hugging him. Unknowingly, Francois is watching them from afar, hidden among the trees. The confused young man runs to Marie and tells her everything he saw. Marie is heartbroken by the discovery. She runs away to hide and bursts into tears. Later, her grandmother finds her alone by the window with a strange, distant look. Marie tells her she found her mother's button in the forest. Her grandmother refuses to take it and reminds Marie of what her own mother taught her, not to be a gossip. Then she invites Marie to go out with her that night, as she had promised. Hours later, the two go into a field with a blanket. They spread it under the trees to catch the drops of dew, then collect the water in a jar. Her grandmother tells her it is moon water and that she might need it someday. She also asks that when she dies, Marie would not stop collecting it. Marie looks at her tenderly, as the realization that her grandmother won't always be there hits her deeply. She knows she is being entrusted with more than just a tradition, and she promises she will keep the ritual. The next day, Eva sits outside, anxiously waiting for the doctor to pass by. When Marie approaches, Eva tries to connect with her, but Marie acts distant and chooses to sit with the tenant couple instead. Eva does not insist. She stays and waits. The doctor finally passes, and at that moment, the grandmother comes out and announces that Jean will be home at any moment. Hearing this, Eva rushes to meet Alexandre for what she believes is their last time. As Eva leaves, Alexandre whispers to himself that it is not over yet. Marie's confusion over the doctor has faded. Now she focuses all her energy on a new mission, making her parents love each other again. She seeks out the witch, Augusta, and asks for a potion to help her parents reconcile. The woman gives her a mysterious mixture, assuring her it will work instantly. With new hope, Marie goes to meet her father. She welcomes him with a happy, tight hug. Later, when the family is together, Marie tries to help her mother, but Eva tells her to go help her father instead. Since returning, Jean has been quiet. Marie asks him if she can do anything for him, and he gives her a kiss to deliver to her mother. Eva, watching from afar, smiles at her husband for the first time in days. She approaches him, and they decide to share a drink. Seeing her chance, Marie slips the potion into a glass and gives it to them. She is convinced the spell is beginning to work. At that moment, Dr. Alexandre arrives to check on Romain. He observes the reconciled couple from outside. Seeing them together, he stands silently for a moment, then turns and leaves without a word. Hours later, Marie hears laughter and celebration coming from her parents' room. She says nothing, simply smiling to herself. What she wanted has finally happened. The next morning, a tenant listening to the radio warns that if Hitler attacks Poland, things will get very bad. Marie's grandmother dismisses him, believing he is exaggerating and couldn't possibly understand the German broadcast. Moments later, Eva appears, apologizing for waking up late and missing the household chores. When Jean appears behind her with a bright smile, the grandmother understands everything. She whispers to Marie that, at least someone is truly happy. Days later, the whole town goes to the forest to cut branches to use as decoration for the upcoming festival. The atmosphere is cheerful, and Marie's parents work happily alongside everyone. But on the way home, Marie's grandmother orders her to run and find the doctor because Romain is very ill. His wife, Melanie, and Marie's grandmother stay by his side as the old man struggles to breathe and then stops moving. Following tradition, Marie's grandmother blows out the lamps, covers the mirrors, and sends a boy to inform Fred that his father has died. Dr. Alexandre arrives too late. He confirms the death and prepares the certificate, keeping a straight face and avoiding Eva's gaze. But as soon as the grandmother is distracted, he whispers to Eva that he needs to see her. Outside, Fred is devastated. A warm hug from Marie gives the grieving man a small bit of comfort. Fred goes inside to join the others. As they share fond memories of Romain, the mood lightens, giving them the strength to go to the festival. At the celebration, Marie's parents join the townspeople, dancing enthusiastically with each other. Jean even invites his mother to dance before Mauricio can ask her. But when his mother sits down, Mauricio, sober and well-dressed, finally approaches her. She accepts his invitation. Marie also joins in, dancing with a young man her age. While everyone dances, the doctor watches from his car, unsure whether to enter. After a long moment, he takes a breath and finally steps out. Meanwhile, a grieving Fred has not come to the festival. Teresa finds him at home, and he pulls her close, seeking comfort. The doctor enters the party and walks straight to Eva, disregarding the fact that she is with her husband. He asks her to dance. She hesitates but accepts. Jean stands frozen and uncomfortable, biting back his pride. The grandmother notices everything. She also sees that Marie is exhausted and takes her home to rest. Eva begins to dance with the doctor, but she grows uncomfortable under the stares of the entire town. She tries to return to her husband, but Alexandre won't allow it. The atmosphere becomes tense as Jean steps forward and punches the doctor. Alexandre fights back. The brawl escalates until neighbors rush in to separate them. The music stops, and the whole town watches in silence. The next day, Jean and Eva reconcile once more. They decide it is time to return to the city. They pack their suitcases and soon depart, leaving behind the summer, the countryside, and a grandmother who stands sadly at her door, watching them leave. A final, grave narration closes the story. World War II has been declared. The peace they had just enjoyed is over, and things will never be the same again. This isn't just a story about first periods or parental affairs. It's about the painful discovery that adults don't have all the answers. They are just older children making messes. Marie leaves childhood behind not with a celebration, but with a quiet understanding that life is a series of cycles, stains that never fully wash out, and love that both wounds and sustains us through every season of change. Thanks for watching. I am new here, but I have plenty of content you won't want to miss. A like and follow would go a long way in helping this channel.